At Labyrinth Facilitators Training at Grace Cathedral in San Francisco, they teach to be careful who you invite into the labyrinth together. You can't invite senior business executives and factory workers to walk together because everyone will be uncomfortable and the peace of the walk will be disturbed. And you can't invite young people to walk with old people because the pace will be disrupted and half the people will be inhibited from walking by the other half. For as much as we talk about diversity and inclusion, often it's like we're walking around in circles. At the royal wedding of the Crown Prince of Jordan, Al Hussein bin Abdullah, and Raja Al Sharif last year, it seemed everyone was invited. We saw Nancy Pelosi and her husband in the receiving line, followed by Ivanka Trump and her husband Jared, who were followed then by Kate and William. It was a who's who, and for some reason, nobody seemed to be uncomfortable or inhibited. We all believe in objective reality, but sometimes we're in the receiving line, and sometimes we didn't even get an invitation. Welcome. Welcome to Illinois Bridging Awareness. I'm Stanley Smith. On the Saturday call, we've been following the path of conversation starting a few weeks ago with the topic of capacity and then control issues, then moved on to being disrespected, having self-respect, slowing down, and now objective reality. Wow. How did we get here? We got here because we've been trying really, really hard to make sense out of something that really doesn't make sense. Life, at least life as we know it. What we're on to now is that life as we know it is an agreed upon channel, like the like-minded people invited into the labyrinth all at the same time without any disruptors. Often even this is hard enough to navigate. But if you take a look at the reasons for this, the reason is objective reality. And you can see why that is. We have scientific reality, journalistic reality, moral realism, postmodernism, naive realism, idealism, skepticism, subjective reality, and pragmatism. The definition of all of these versions is a variation of the same idea. I'm right and everyone else is wrong. Social scientists have been onto the idea that objective reality is a real problem, and they've been onto that for over 100 years now. People before us lived in a more multidimensional reality, which included fantasy, myth, and the imagination. Look at the plot of any opera, and you can see that no one takes the plot very seriously because it's all farcical, and it's only as serious as we make it. Loving, feeling, and experiencing is more akin to how we actually live our lives. But these aren't even considered real by objective reality. Not only do we dismiss large portions of our own lives, we dismiss others and their unique experience. Vladimir Putin recently said that the East leads from the heart and the West is very pragmatic. In a new production of Aida at the Lyric Opera here in Chicago, people are critical because the characters die in a drab tomb instead of the more elaborate pyramid. In the West, we do seem to have more concern for the particulars of death than for death itself. A friend of mine is dying of cancer, and I asked if there was anything she wanted to share or tell the world that she hadn't had a chance to do during her life. She said there was nothing. I've come to realize people are having a completely different life experience. We can never assume that people experience life the same way we do. Greg Anderson, in a lecture on objective reality, said it's because we live in a pluriverse and not a universe. We all need to ask ourselves what makes things real and what makes something just a belief. How we value one and dismiss the other. Our life might seem farcical and without direction, but when we get to the end of it, I hope we have so much more to give, more to feel, more to love, and more of ourselves than we could ever give away in just one lifetime. We need to lean into that reality, and exit this medieval times of objective reality that we all seem to be living in. We may not be invited to the royal Jordanian wedding, but we won't end up on the wrong side of the pyramid either. And during this time of Lent, we're reminded that we won't end up in the drab, dark tomb either. If you would like to join us at Illinois Bridging Awareness, the Saturday call is every Saturday at 9 a.m. Central Time on Zoom. I will include my email in the description of this video. I'll be happy to send you an invitation. And I look forward to seeing you very, very soon.